All right, Shalom, Shalom. Call Haloyam, Ho Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakudash. And the water, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, for giving us the spirit and truth in these last days. As always, double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, that taught us his truth and do it well, Bakathum. And as always, salutations to the Zaquanium, Wa Achim, which is the elders and the brothers standing stiffly for the names of Yahweh, Yahushai, truth and sincerity. And Shalom to the predestined elect, scattered about the four corners of the earth, all right, that are predestined to escape the destruction. All right, that's going to primarily take place here in Babylon the Great and ultimately across the four corners of the earth. All right, I'm my fellow servant Quan from GMS Bay 12, the camp out here in Tampa, Florida, the heart of Babylon, the belly of the beast, with another lesson. I pray this lesson is edifying, all right, to the hopeful elect. All right, so yeah, pretty much through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, I want to do a quick lesson on how 2/3 of our people pretty much, the Lord have blinded them, okay, from receiving His truth, from receiving the fact that the spirit of prophecy, all right, is pretty much taking over, and they're, partying, clubbing, all right, well, not clubbing, I'm sorry, having house parties, okay, and now that they open up the beaches, okay, Jake is losing his mind, man. Jake, these demons is pretty much having a field day with you, Jakes, man. You're blind to the fact that the so-called white man, Esau Edom, is getting ready to roll out his RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast, okay, because in order for you to enjoy yourself, all right, in order for you to have a good time in these times that we're coming into, you're going to have to receive a RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. And if you receive that chip, the Heavenly Father is going to destroy you, man. Okay, but see, you're blind to the fact that all these prophecies are taking place, all right? You're blind to the fact that the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, has returned unto us through the Spirit, all right? And you're blind to the fact that your way of being saved is out there on the four corners of the earth and through these via YouTube videos, man. And that's by the word of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, as He spake by the mouth of His prophets since the world began. So let's go ahead and start here in Romans. Matter of fact, let's get this in 2nd Ezra, chapter 7, all right, verse 59, appointed 60. For this is the life whereof Moses spake unto the people, what people? The so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, while he lived, saying, choose thee life that thou mayest live. Right? Choose thee life that thou mayest live. And what is that life? How do you get that life? How do you live? How do you have a life, a long life, man? Okay? Through the law, statutes, commandments, which we broke. Okay, which our forefathers broke, and what we're suffering to this day, man. So that's why we have to be loosed, okay, from this flesh, because what? This flesh is ultimately carnal. Okay, and it's what? It's subject to sin, man. But the Most High subjected us to going off so that what? We can have a hope to be saved. Okay, and that's in the book of Romans, the 8th chapter. All right? So life is through the law, statutes, commandments, and the Most High. Okay? But we can't keep them forever. Okay? We can't keep them, all right, holy, all right, and 613 of them in this flesh. All right? Because this flesh is sinful, man. So we need to be changed. All right? Verse 60. Nevertheless, they believe not him, nor yet the prophets after him. Okay, so they didn't believe Moses, and they didn't believe the prophets after Moses, right? It says, no, nor me, which have spoken unto them. So you didn't even believe the Most High, which have spoken unto you. All right? Romans 11:7. What then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for. Right? Israel being what? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians. The southern kingdom, which is Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and the northern kingdom, which is Ephraim, Asher, okay, Issachar, so forth and so on, man. Zebulun, Manasseh, so forth and so on, which we make up the house of Israel, okay? We make up the house of Jacob, okay? And these are all coded, okay, words, all right, for the elect to receive and to teach, all right, our people, that we are the Most High's chosen people, man, a peculiar nation, all right? So it says, what then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for. And what do our people seeketh for? Peace of mind, man. You see? And that peace of mind is ultimately the truth. But see, you don't want to receive the truth because the Most High have blinded you, man, from receiving the truth. So that's why you wild as hell, man. That's why the scriptures say, the ox knoweth his owner, the ass his master crib. But my people do not know, nor do they consider. You jakes do not consider the ways of the Most High. Why? Because the Lord have spiritually blinded you. You can't see the things spiritually, man. Okay? And that's why a lot of you, according to 2nd Ezra 9, are going to have to know the Most High after death by pain. All right? So it says, what then? Israel have not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. And that word for blinded in the 16:11, it says hardened. Okay? So from there, right, as I said, the rest were blinded. So the election, only the elect can obtain this. So like your guy Paul Kersey said, why it's always the elect this, the elect that? Well, because the scriptures speak about the Lord shall gather his elect from the four corners of the earth. We just read the scriptures say the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded. And Apostle Paul said, endure all things for the elect's sake. So what are you talking about? You see, this is all about the word elect, right? Which the word elect means, it's from the word, the word chosen is from the Greek eklektos, all right? Which is chosen, man. You see? Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 8, it says, but thou, son of man, hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like the rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat that I give thee. You see? All right, so the rebellious house is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians rebellious until this day. All right? And the Lord said, eat that I give thee, which is these words. All right? It says, and when I looked, behold, in him was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe, man. Lamentations, mourning, and woe is all throughout the scriptures, man. Which woe means destruction. All right, lamented meaning being in distress. Mourning, okay, in a mourning state. This is our people. Why is that? Because ultimately they turn from Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and they've forsaken his ways. So that's why the Most High spiritually blinded them in these last days, because this is a generation, oh sinful generation, man. And the Lord said he will visit the iniquity, all right, of our fathers to the third and fourth generation, man. All right, those that hate him. And that's you Jakes out here today. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 42, verse 16. And I will bring the blind by the way that they know not. I will lead them in paths that they have not known. I will make darkness light before them, and crooked things straight. These things will I do unto them, and not forsake them. And that's the Most High Yahweh Shai speaking unto us by what? Bringing us into this truth. All right, and bringing us out of gross darkness, according to Isaiah the 60th chapter, which that gross darkness is ultimately Babylon the Great. Okay, the valley of the shadow of death. All right, but guess what? The light is his truth. All right, verse 17. They shall be turned back. They shall be greatly ashamed that trust in graven images. And that's 2/3 of our people. All right. It says that say to the molten images, ye are our gods. Verse 18. Hear ye deaf and look ye blind that ye may see. So the Lord is saying what? It's spiritually speaking, man. Okay. Spiritually saying what? Ye are deaf because you are, that's why Yahweh Shai said, he that hath ears to hear, let him hear. All right, because everybody have ears, but not everybody has the ears to hear out for the prophecies, man. Not everybody has the ear to hear out for faith, because the scriptures say faith cometh by what? Hearing, man. So you have to hear, and how can you hear without a teacher? You see? It says, and look ye blind that ye may see. Verse 19, it's the point. Who is blind but my servant? Or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? Seeing many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not. You see? So a lot of you Jakes, okay, you see, but you don't observe what's going on. You see? And it's so plain, all right? It's so plain, you know, the RFID chip, which is a mark of the beast, it's so plain that the thermonuclear missiles, all right, that's this Third World War getting ready to brew off, okay, getting ready to kick off according to the prophecies in Zephaniah the 3rd chapter, around the 8th verse, Joel the 2nd and the 3rd chapter, okay, all right, and many scriptures that speak about the thermonuclear missiles, all right, being pretty much the icing on the cake of the destruction of Babylon the Great, which is America, man. It's obvious, okay, all right. And so many more prophecies that are obvious to us, plain, okay? But that's why we're going to read how the Lord only chosen and elect to receive these things, because not everybody can receive, all right, the words that we're speaking, just like in the time of Yahweh Shai. And that's why he said a prophet is not worthy in his own house, man, okay? In his own country, all right? So going back to verse 19, who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect? Right? And what? And when you go into the word in the Genesis, in the book of Genesis, all right, for plain, because Jacob was a plain man, that word plain means perfect. All right? So we're perfect through the Spirit, and it said integrity, wholesome. All right? So we're naturally perfect through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Shai. But the flesh is weak, vulnerable, and wicked, man. But the Spirit is perfect, man. Faithful. All right? So that's why what? The Spirit has to be in an incorruptible body. So the Spirit is what? The Spirit is in prison. And what is that prison? The flesh. And this is why you ultimately subject to sin. And the Lord said that in the book of Romans, the 8th chapter, not willingly, okay, but that he may be in a hope, but that it may be in a hope for salvation. You see? So that we can hope to be saved and loosened from the chains of darkness, which is this flesh. All right? Verse 20, it says, seeing many things, but thou observest not, opening the ears, but he heareth not. All right? The Lord is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. All right? He will magnify the law and make it honorable. Okay? And the Lord is getting ready to magnify his law. Okay? Through what? His men. Because we're going to distribute, okay, order, all right, of the laws, statutes, commandments throughout the whole world, man. Under Yahweh Shai and our King David and our apostles. And that's according to Daniel, the 7th chapter, all right, around the 27th verse, man. It says, and all nations shall serve and obey him. Okay? And every nation, all right, is going to have to flow into the mountain of Israel, which is a nation before us, a place, man. A people before us, a place. All right? You're going to have to flow into us, man. Why? Because we're going to be issuing out the orders and the laws, that's commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Okay? Verse 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. All right? They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth. For a spoil, and none saith restored. So nobody is going to, that's why the Lord said, go into your, weep for your lovers, man. You know, go into your lovers, which the lovers are what? These other nations who you have cleaved unto their idols, their gods. Which Psalms 96 says, all the gods of the earth are idols. You see? So go cleave unto them. All right? Go and cleave unto Buddha. You know, go and cleave unto these gods and see if they save you in this time. They're not going to restore you, man. Okay? These other nations are laughing at you. And that's why the scriptures say in the book of Deuteronomy, 28th chapter, ye shall be for a hiss and astonishment. Okay, and a proverb and a byword, man, unto all the nations where I would driven thee, man. Roughly to say. So wherever a so-called Negro, Latino, or Native American Indian is, guess what? You are an astonishment, okay, because you're supposed to be the God of the planet Earth, which the scriptures say, I have seen servants walking upon the ground, all right? I have seen servants, all right, sitting upon horses, man, Salakia, all right? And princes walking upon the ground as servants. So the things are turned upside down. Why? Because Jake is blind to the fact of who he is, man, all right? Okay? But see, things be to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for the election obtaining this truth, and the rest were blinded, man. All right? Verse 18, boast not against the branches. Oh, Salakia. That was Romans, Salakia, which I could drop. I'm done with that. Isaiah 42 in verse 23. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Right? For what time to come? A vision is set for an appointed time. At the end it shall speak and not lie. Habakkuk the 2nd chapter. The vision of what? The vision of the destruction of Babylon the Great. The vision of the restoration of righteousness. The visions that Yahweh Shai prophesied, all right, that it was going to come a time of trouble. And no, it was none like it even shall be from the beginning, okay, which is going to be so great of a time of Jacob's trouble that Michael the Archangel is going to have to stand and come down and redeem the stand, all right, for the nation of Israel, chiefly the elect, lead in charge of the multitude of angels that's going to come, all right, under Yahweh Shai, man. And that's all throughout the scriptures. Okay, one realm against another realm, man. Our defense, okay, our military in the universe, okay, against your carnal military, which Jake trust in Egypt. Jake trust in so-called white man Esau Edom, which is spiritually Sodom and Egypt. You see, he trusts in the system. All right, but what? That's why the scripture say the election have obtained it, and the rest were blinded, man. The election have obtained this truth. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and close out on this. Finishing off Isaiah 42, verse 24. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord? So the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai gave us over to the nations. So what? Yahweh Shem Yahushai is going to be the power that's going to deliver us. And that's in the book of Baruch. Okay? It says, he that brought these things upon thee shall bring salvation unto thee, man. Did not the Most High say in the book of Isaiah as well, in my wrath have I smote thee, but in my favor will I have everlasting mercy on thee? We were sent not unto the nations for our destruction, but because we moved the Most High to wrath. But in the land of our captivities, we will remember ourselves and think upon his name. You see, so all throughout the scriptures, all right, the Lord balanced it out. He led us into captivity, and so will he bring us out of the captivity. That's why a great salvation is going to come out of the land of the north. Okay, that's going to triumph over all your movies, over what happened on the planet Earth, which is the greatest movie of the Heavenly Father, okay, in the time of our forefathers, when they were delivered from the hands of Pharaoh and his armies, man. You see, it's going to triumph that through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So it says, who gave Jacob for a spoil in Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he against whom we have sinned? See? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his laws. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger, which is what? Being led into captivity. All right? It says, in the strength of battle. What? So the whole head is sick. Why? Because we all been conquered. You see? All right? And it hath set him on fire round about, yet he know it not. And it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. Okay? So Jake is not laying, all right, the fury of the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushai upon him to heart. 2/3 of them. Why? Because the Lord have blinded him. That's why Micah the 7th chapter says, I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him. That's the elect. We understand we sinned against the Lord. So what we're going to do, we're going to pray that Yahweh Shem Yahushai have mercy on us and repent. All right? And thank Yahweh Shem Yahushai for revealing this truth into us. All right? So with that, Lord's witness was edifying to the elect. Kahaloyam, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Akakudash. Double honors to my apostles, elders, a great millstone, and taught me this truth and do it well. So I teach to this money, my Achim Shalom to the elect.